Well, it had to happen one day. And here it is. After nearly 10 years, a decade of playing in English football, Riyad Mahrez has left the Premier League. Well, of course, he started in the Championship, in the second tier in England. He has left the Premier League. He has departed Manchester City. It feels like only yesterday this unknown young Algerian born in France had joined Leicester City in the Championship from Le Havre, January, around about 2014. And obviously Algeria had just qualified for the World Cup. Vahid Halilhodzic was the manager. Mahrez, a bit of a wild card in the Algeria squad, goes to the World Cup, and I think he started against Belgium in Brazil. Maybe the only game that he started. People didn't know who he was. He was benched eventually for Sofiane Feghouli, who of course is a big, big legend to me. Maybe even more than Mahrez. I remember being at school. Used to tell people I was half Algerian. They went, "Oh, any footballers?" I say, "Oh, do you know that Feghouli at Valencia? Oh, well, maybe I see him in FIFA packs." There was no Premier League winner. There was no Riyad Mahrez at the time. Now, a household name of the Premier League. 5 Premier League titles. The only African player to do so. Multiple clubs. 1 at Leicester, which was absolutely unprecedented. Just quite extraordinary. He has won everything there is to win in the game. The Premier League, those FA Cups, League Cups, the Championship, the Community Shield, the UEFA Champions League was the final squad he was in. I know he didn't play, didn't start, but he got his hands on the big trophy. And you could see when he was benched for those 2 cup finals last season, he wasn't happy. He was a bit distant from the celebrations. And maybe this is part of the reason why he's chosen to leave Man City at 32. He had 2 years left on his deal. Ahli have had to pay a fee, £30 million. That's a really good fee for them to get back. That's half of what they paid with the 60 million, and it just shows the quality. All these names going to Saudi Arabia. I know Ronaldo's already there, but this summer, is there a bigger name than a prime Riyad Mahrez in that Saudi Pro League? It's not a prime Ronaldo. It's not a prime Benzema. It's not a prime Kante. Mahrez has still got a couple of best years in him. He's the name they wanted. You know, Muslim, North African, Islamic country. He's the poster boy of the Saudi Pro League. He is going to make me and he's going to make you watch that league, and he's going to make you watch Al-Ahli Jeddah. He will. You might not have watched that Saudi league, even with all the players going, if Mahrez wasn't there. I know, and you can come back to this, that you will watch at least one Al-Ahli game. Even just one. That's one more than you usually would have. Because that's where Mahrez is going to play. The Algeria national team captain. And he still is, despite the fact that he might be in Saudi, and of course Belmadi might choose to change that. He might never call him again. We've seen what happens when players go to the Middle East. This isn't like when Yusuf Belaidi played for Al-Ahli. This isn't like his teammate Riyad Boudebouz, who now, Mahrez and Boudebouz are going to link up. They're only 1 year different and have both played at a World Cup. Madly enough, of course, Riyad Boudebouz played at the 2010 tournament, and like I said, Mahrez played in 2014. Firmino's there. Mendy is in goal. I think Alioski is there, once of Leeds. Some good players there. And I'm sure they will continue to add to that squad. But this is a new era. And we shouldn't be critical of football coming to the Middle East, to North Africa, to a Muslim country. Okay? Because ultimately, it's a much healthier environment for Muslims to watch football in than the Premier League. Although, of course, the Premier League is the biggest league in the world. We just had a World Cup in the Middle East. And it was probably, arguably, the best of all time. So, there are positives to Mahrez going here. But, and it's a big but, Algeria's right winger, the captain, playing against the level of opposition he will now play against. Will he still be in top shape for an Africa Cup of Nations run in 6 months' time? We just had today, this week, 19th of July, 4 years since Mahrez, lifted the trophy, the AFCON title, another title he's won. And now he's leaving the Premier League. It was always going to happen one day. Maybe we didn't think it was going to happen this soon, but it's not a sad day. Enjoy it. How many times can you say you watched an Algerian play and be pivotal in Premier League title races, in Champions League run-ins? The way he cuts inside, the best first touch in the Premier League was Riyad Mahrez. Only he could watch a ball for 50, 60 yards in the air and bring it down like it was nothing. So, from a club point of view, he wasn't getting much game time. Pep's been not using him as much. I mean, hat-trick in the FA Cup semi-final, couldn't start the final. And people say it was against, it's only Sheffield United. Sheffield United are in the Premier League now and have just signed Arusi. So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. The concern with Algerians is, of course, the international scene. Should he be the captain? Should Bensebaini take it? I would give it to Bensebaini. Benasser maybe one day, but with the injury, certainly not with Benasser injured at the moment. He'll miss the next 3 international breaks for a start. I'd make Bensebaini the captain. If Mahrez doesn't start anymore, he's not going to be the captain regardless, even though he is first captain. Bensebaini might take the armband. I think should take the armband, particularly now at Dortmund. It's not necessarily the end. We're still going to see him around. I just feel, if you're a player in Europe, if you're Adam Winnes, if you're Shaibi, if you're Ben Rahma, if you're Amora, Bouetnani, these sorts of guys, Guri, Shirky one day, and you're getting the same numbers as Mahrez, but in a far better league, there has to be now an acceptance that they're doing it at a better level against tougher quality opposition, better level defenders, better keepers. But we've seen Portugal, with a new manager, with Roberto Martinez, still continue to have Ronaldo lead the line, despite the fact he's now playing for Al Nassr. And this isn't a retirement home. This is still a prime Mahrez. You've seen Ruben Neves, Milinkovic-Savic go there, Mitrovic linked, Lukaku, Koulibaly, Mendy, Firmino, Henderson, Jordan bloody Henderson. This isn't a random retirement home. The Saudis have picked out and made lists of who they want in that league. Look at all the Muslim players that, like I said, Koulibaly, Kante, Benzema. It's not a coincidence. So, it's sad, but enjoy the memories of him cutting inside. Winning the league with Leicester. The Premier League player of the season. Who else could take Leicester City to win the league? Who? Salah wouldn't win the league with Leicester. I'll tell you that. Mane wouldn't have. Ziyech certainly wouldn't have. Mahrez did it. He did it. And look at Leicester now, back in the Championship, which is where they started when Mahrez joined the club. What an honour and a pleasure to have watched him play in the best league in the world, for the best team in the world, under the best manager in the world. But now our concern, thanks for the memories, it's about Mahrez and the national team, the captaincy, the desire, 400 grand a week, 25 million pounds a year. Is that the desire? Is Taylor Ward going to be in his ear all the time, living the lavish Saudi lifestyle, take me to the souk and all that sort of stuff, buy me a Gucci handbag from the souk in Jeddah and all that sort of stuff? I think he should have gone to a club in Riyadh, like I said, Al Hilal or Al Nassr. Could have had Riyadh in Riyadh, but now there's another Riyadh to join Riyadh in Jeddah. So, I know a lot of people didn't want it to happen. He had so much more to give football-wise, quality-wise. I think he will still continue to deliver. He could have easily played for any other Premier League side. You look at a Newcastle, an Arsenal, a Chelsea, a Liverpool, he would have started for all these sides. He's gone for Al Ahli. His wages doubled. I'm pretty sure if your wages doubled, you would move to Saudi Arabia as well. But we need to wait and see. Next September international break, we'll see where Belmadi is with Mahrez. We'll see if he A, starts him, and B, keeps him the armband. I think he'll let him keep the armband. I think he will lead Algeria into the next Africa Cup of Nations. He will. And after them, we'll see what happens. Will Mahrez, I don't know, he said he wants to take Algeria to the next World Cup. He also said he'd never leave City. So you've got to take things with a pinch of salt, guys. But what an honour to watch the games. We would have watched Premier League. We would have watched Champions League. We got to watch it with Riyad Mahrez. He has got to be, now that he's left, in the Premier League Hall of Fame. He has to be. He has to be in the Premier League Hall of Fame. Because the amount of titles he's won and the legacy he will leave. And there will be Algerians in the future, in the Premier League, inshallah, that have had their pathway made far easier because people will go, you know what? A silky Algerian dribbler from the streets, he might be the next Riyad Mahrez. And people will give them a chance. So I'm looking forward to seeing who the next Riyad Mahrez is going to be playing in England. Who knows, it might be a future generation, one that's born in London or in the UK. We shall wait and see. But of course you guys are sad that he's leaving City, and especially with 2 years left on his deal. It happens. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Maybe even leave your favourite Mahrez memory, your favourite Mahrez goal. I've seen many live at West Ham away for Leicester and for City. Saw him miss a penalty at West Ham away for City a couple of seasons ago. But there we are. He has been brilliant. He averages a goal contribution, a goal or assist every 110 minutes. That's absurd. His assists have been unreal, and he's been robbed of so many great assists with the amount of sitters the strikers he's played with have missed. So Mahrez to Al Ahli, speculation is over. But Zugba and Bendubka did it before it was cool. I'll see you next time.